Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and I'm an astrologer who works with entrepreneurs to help them identify and take their next best action so they can keep making progress in their business and in their lives. Welcome to the August 7th Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about how you can harness the momentum to accelerate your growth over the next 2 weeks. And this growth may even generate some ideas that you can experiment with starting next week. Listen to our conversation so you'll know what to do day to day, and I'll see you on the other side.
Okay. And actually, there is a lot, and yet I don't feel like it's complicated. There's just a lot. And so uh, we'll get into it, but basically, where are we right now? Because it has been 3 weeks since we've been together, and during that time, Mercury went forward. So we got a sense of what it is we're supposed to pay attention to. And then on Sunday, it stationed retrograde and it's moving backward. And by now, today, you should be able to start to feel it actually moving backward. And to me, that's always a relief, because then my mind is always eager to get moving. That's how I operate. And just being able to have that support to get me going, get my mind going again is helpful, even if it's backward. So let me just start with sharing my screen so that I can point out a few things. But here we are today on August 7th. And Fernando, you are on a different continent. So you should be aware that this is all based on 12 noon Berkeley time. So everything is significantly ahead for you. And that just I may be talking to things that have already happened, essentially, for you. But what is going on? First of all, Venus over here has been moving through this Mercury portal. So for about 2 weeks now, you should have been getting some validation about what you've been thinking about, either confirmation that you are on track with whatever it is that you're learning, that if it's something familiar where you're getting a different perspective or a new role, that you have done the right thing, that you have a knack for it, this new perspective. And if you've done something so straightforward as enroll in a course, that there is something about that you enjoy. And as Mercury moved into Venus, I'm sorry, Mercury moved into Virgo, it was like, oh, I can tweak this to make it fit me, to make it beautiful in the way I look at it. And because Venus has been in Virgo for a few days, there has been this opportunity to get confirmation that yes, it's like maybe someone reached out to you and said, yes, that was so great. Oh my God, keep it up. That was perfect, right? That is a word that kind of goes along with Virgo. And so that's one thing going on. What has also happened since yesterday is that Mars over here in Gemini entered the Jupiter portal yesterday. And what that means is that it's like getting to put your heart into your growth. It's like finally getting to like say, oh man, I get it. I know how I need to expand, or I feel inspired to keep going. And this is, I think, a great opportunity for us to accelerate. And to me, that's a relief because I've felt a little like stuck for a while. And then finally, you can see the sun here moving through Leo, and soon it will enter that Jupiter, I'm sorry, gosh, Mercury portal up here. Okay, so that's kind of where we are in time. And where are we going? Well, first of all, Venus here is crossing over Mercury coming backwards today. So if you have not yet gone out and gotten that feedback that you are on the right track, it's a great day to do it. Send a text, make a phone call, whatever it is. It's about asking, am I doing this right? Does it seem good to you? What aspects seem like things I should keep doing? Because it's all related to what you're learning. And so not everything is going to be perfect, but there are a couple pieces somewhere that are just right. And if you're feeling it and need that confirmation externally, it's a great day to do that. And it might come on its own, which is always a nice thing. And then tomorrow, Venus is going to leave the Mercury portal at 4 degrees. And so it's been 2 weeks of confirmation that you are on track with your learning. And it's nice to have that before you embark on the trying it out, which is coming soon. But for the next few days after this, it's kind of, I'm going to say quiet, but all this while, Mars is moving through the Jupiter portal, building up this momentum, giving you more ideas and inspiring you to keep going with your growth. And then on the 13th, the sun will enter that Mercury portal. And I always love to think about this opportunity as a time to test out what you've been thinking about. As Mars has been moving through this Jupiter portal, if you're harnessing it and saying, I'm just going to go for it, I'm going to learn as much as I can. I'm going to put details out. I'm going to take as many details in. I'm going to put my ideas, put my heart into my ideas. There is this exchange. That's the Gemini energy of it going back and forth, but bringing about awareness in you that maybe over this next week, you are generating some ideas to test of how do I put this to work? How can I try this out? How can I find my fun in this and test it out? Is this actually fun? And this will be about a little over a week and a half, not quite 2 weeks, to experiment with the all these things you've been thinking about. So the next day, it's like you start your testing phase and then Mars crosses over Jupiter. And what is that like? That's like blowing the doors open. It's like, bam, I am on fire. I'm going to push through and the growth is just going to follow behind me. So this may be a day in particular, a week from now, where it feels like, oh, it's clicking. I get it. I'm going to go for it. And the the momentum continues behind me to just keep me going. Doors keep opening. So I hope that makes sense. It's sort of how it unfolds. The next day, so Venus has been moving through Virgo, and it is opposite that Saturn portal for a few days. Now, Saturn in Pisces this year, since March or so, has been about finding your dream team, finding that small group of people that are part of your day-to-day life, where you get on the same page easily. There's not too much of a struggle, but you're all pulling in the same direction to accomplish the same things. And hopefully by the end of June, you figured out who that was that has been part of your support team. As Venus moves through this portal, this is an opportunity to say, oh, maybe I've got something that the team can use, something that I've perfected, something that I'm learning that is going to help us keep staying together for the work, but that others on the team can appreciate. And there is on So on the 18th, Mercury crosses over the sun in Leo. And so a great day to shine, a great day to have fun, a great day to find things that are easy, not struggle, really give space for perhaps someone inviting you to present your stuff, or just whether it's casually or formally, but for you to shine and be proud of yourself and offer your gifts and have them received. And then the next day, that exact opposition of, this confirmation that I've got something just right. And my team might find it really helpful. And they might be able to validate, ooh, we like that. And it's kind of confirmation still that you're on the right track. So a good day to reach out to that dream team. If everyone's on their own adventure, learning their new stuff, great time for everyone to kind of get together and say, hey, how's everyone doing? What have you got going? What are you feeling good about? And let's just get some feedback from everyone. And keep in mind that this Mars is still working through its way through the Jupiter portal. So it's a good time to get feedback to say, push in this area to learn, push in this area to keep taking in the details or put stuff out. But on the 20th, so it's about 5 or 6 days where Venus is across from that Saturn portal. Venus will complete moving across from that and will keep going. And on the 21st, we meet again. And that is the day that Mars leaves the Jupiter portal. So that's just a day over 2 weeks that Mars is moving through that. Any questions? I'm going to go backward and we'll watch that movement one more time without my talking. How is this resonating for people? You guys excited? All right. You ready? Okay. It's a little scary, I got to tell you. One of the things I'm working on is putting out some content that I am not, will be controversial and not, I don't know, I'll get challenged, I'm guessing, but whatever. I rectified Tim Walls's birth chart to, I think, around 7:30 p.m., which fits so many things. I couldn't find anything that didn't contradict that, but I'm sure people will have ideas about that and possibly say, who knows what, but I'm totally down for that. Okay, so some things to watch for are Mercury moving backwards and meeting the sun back here in Leo. That's always fun to watch. And then watching Mars march through this Jupiter portal and cross over in nearly 2 weeks from now. Okay, you guys ready? Okay. So how can we harness this Mars through the Jupiter portal for exactly 2 weeks? My thought, give yourself a 2-week challenge. You have some idea of what it is that you're learning to expand your mind. And so what can you do to make the most of it? You've got the kind of wind in your sails, a nice little tailwind to keep going, and you've gotten the validation that you're on track. You just have to pick out the things you want to work on. And ways to do that. You can increase both the details you're taking in or the ideas that you're putting out into the world, and I like to think of it as the more you give your heart into this, the more that comes back that will feed the experiments that you can try out once the sun enters that Mercury portal, and you can refine or find some new fun, something that you are great at and feel good about and feel like you're putting your gifts out there that others can receive. And so, another thing I think is a side thing is this encouragement from your dream team and having them as a resource to check with. But this is how I see really making the most of the next 2 weeks. And so just as a reminder, we've got Venus here working its way through that Mercury portal, and it is exact today. Great day to get feedback on what you've, gotten right, what seems perfect to you, and to be able to hold on to that. From the 6th to the 21st, so from yesterday until 2 weeks from today, we have Mars working its way through that Jupiter portal here, and it is exact on the 14th, so a week from now, kind of halfway through. And so challenging yourself, and you'll have that inspiration to go for it. It may slowly start to build, but a week from now, if you're not feeling it now, hopefully it builds enough by the 14th that you feel like, okay, I've got this. I know how to push through and really do as much as I can with this. And we've got the sun moving through that Mercury portal here from 21.5 degrees of Leo to 4 degrees of Virgo, and it is exact on the 18th. So space to have fun. Like, don't plan anything if you can. That is not fun for you because you want to shine, and something may come up last minute where you're able to do that. And then we have Venus moving opposite that Saturn portal to give you that feedback that you are on track and onto something, and that all this work of learning is actually going to help you and the people you work with. Okay, so your tips to thrive. You've got momentum for 2 weeks to accelerate your growth. And so I'm thinking about a challenge for myself. You guys probably can come up with your own. It always helps to make it measurable and see, so that you can see that you've made progress by the time we meet up again. And I really believe that this growth, this momentum that we're getting is going to be a source of ideas that you can test once the sun starts moving through that Mercury portal next week. And then that 18th, when Mercury and the sun cross over each other in opposite directions, a great day to shine and enjoy yourself. And short period of time to check in with your dream team. Those people who get you, you don't have to explain yourself, you're on the same page, and just find out what they're up to, find out what they're learning so you can encourage them. All right. Did it. It's 20 minutes. Any questions? Anyone have ideas for their own challenge? You don't have to say it, but you can raise your hand and just say, ooh, no. Okay, not yet. Maybe. Yes.
Sounds like it should be really a busy time.
Yeah. And when you are accelerating in the beginning, it's slower, right? But it starts to build. And so I'm trying to think about increasing the challenge in the later parts of the 2 weeks ahead. So starting small is totally fine. It's like, okay, how can I not give up on myself just to start, and then see what starts to happen. And when we kind of go for it, sometimes it's a little scary, and sometimes it doesn't turn out the way we think, but this is all part of the learning process. And is giving us stuff to work with once the sun is moving through that Mercury portal to test out our ideas. Could this be fun for me? Any other questions? We don't have to talk about this stuff.
So these questions, these hints you gave, are these all the same for everybody?
Yes. This is the energy for all of us. It's like all of us getting to have a sunny day or warm weather, but how we feel about it, what we can do with it in our own lives and our preferences, and our, like, who we are is different. So how we feel about those conditions is all different. So, you know, a rainy day where for a mom who's got young kids is like, oh my God. And another person who has a rainy day and just wants to stay in bed is like, yes. So it's all the same and different. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Probably sort of like how we're translating what you just said, right? I'm sure everybody on the call has got different translation and different ideas about how to do it. Some of it super energetic and some of it just mellow and moving through it.
Yeah. And until the 13th, when Mars crosses over Jupiter, it can feel like a big, like, pushing through, like you haven't quite got it. And I think after the 13th, you'll have that, how can I say this? So if Jupiter is ahead and Mars is behind, it's like the door's opening slowly and you're pushing up against this door that is not quite open yet. But once you've pushed through, then the growth continues as a tailwind for you. I hope visually that makes sense, that until the 13th, it can feel like you're hitting up a little bit on with some resistance.
Okay.
You guys, it's always fun to do this. I enjoy this. So as you know, I'm here. Feel free to ask questions afterward and go do it. I can't wait to hear what you all discover and what you're testing when we meet up again, because we'll still be in that period of the sun moving through that Mercury portal. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Have
you.
fun.
Thank you. Bye.
I hope you feel prepared to move easily through these next 2 weeks. You really are onto something. All you need to do is ask around. And it might take about a week to find your momentum, but hang in there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.